A Master Guide's practical summary of the book Education. An introduction for leaders. Hey everyone, my fellow future Master Guides. First off, a huge congratulations to all of you for making it through the book Education by Ellen G. White. That's a big accomplishment, and it shows your dedication to this journey of leadership. Now, I know reading it is one thing, but really understanding it and knowing how to use it in our lives and in our ministry is the real goal. So in this series, we're going to do just that. We're going to take a fresh look at the book and create a simple, practical summary that we can apply directly to our lives and our work with adventurers, pathfinders, and the entire church. Let's be clear, this book is a big deal. It's the blueprint, the very foundation of the Seventh-day Adventist philosophy of education. Everything from why we have pathfinders and adventurers to why our schools exist is rooted in the principles found right here. It's God's plan for developing people who are balanced, faithful, and ready for service. So, we're going to break this amazing book down into its main sections, just as the author intended. For each section, we'll ask our two key questions. What's the big idea? And how do we apply this as Master Guides? Let's begin this exciting journey of discovery together. Section 1, First Principles, Chapters 1 through 4. All right, team, let's start at the very beginning. This first section of the book is called First Principles for a reason. Just like when you build a house, you have to lay a solid foundation before you can put up the walls. These first 4 chapters are the foundation for everything else in the book. This section answers the most important questions of all. What is God's big idea for education? What was his original, perfect plan, and how can we get back to it? Chapter 1, Source and Aim of True Education. What's the big idea? True education is way bigger than just getting good grades or a diploma. It's the balanced development of our whole person, our body, physical, our mind, mental, and our heart, spiritual. Its main goal is to restore the image of God in us so we can serve him and others both in this life and in the life to come. The source of all this amazing education is God himself. Let's break it down. Ellen White says our ideas about education are often too narrow and too low. We think about it as just preparing for a job, but God sees it as preparing for eternity. She uses the term harmonious development. Imagine a musical chord. If one note is out of tune, the whole chord sounds bad. In the same way, if we only develop our minds but neglect our health or our relationship with God, we are out of balance. All true wisdom and knowledge ultimately come from God. Even the smartest people in the world are just reflecting a little bit of God's light. The ultimate goal is redemption. Education is one of God's primary tools for bringing us back to him after sin messed things up. How do we apply this? The Master Guide takeaway. When you plan a Pathfinder meeting or a camp out, think about the harmonious development. Don't just teach a skill, mental. Include a game, physical, and a worship thought, spiritual. You're educating the whole person. In your own life, don't get so busy with school or work that you forget to exercise or have your personal devotion. A true Master Guide is balanced. Remember that your purpose as a leader is not just to help Pathfinders earn honors, but to help them become more like Jesus. That is true education. Chapter 2, The Eden School. What's the big idea? The perfect model for education was what Adam and Eve had in the Garden of Eden. Their classroom was nature, their textbook was God's creation, and their teacher was God himself. This is the ideal we should try to learn from. Let's break it down. Classroom, the Garden of Eden. Teacher, God and the holy angels. They had face-to-face conversations. Textbook, nature. They learned about God's power and love by studying the plants, animals, and stars. Homework, tending the garden. This wasn't boring toil, it was useful, practical work that helped them develop their bodies and minds. This system shows that learning is supposed to be a delightful, hands-on experience, not just sitting in a stuffy room. How do we apply this? The Master Guide takeaway. Get outside. Nature is God's second book. This chapter is the reason why camping and nature honors are at the heart of pathfinding. When you're on a nature walk, don't just identify a flower. Ask, what does the beauty of this flower teach us about our Creator? Emphasize learning by doing. The best way to learn knot tying is by tying knots. The best way to learn service is by serving. Practical skills build character. Chapter 3. The knowledge of good and evil. What's the big idea? God gave Adam and Eve freedom of choice because forced love isn't real love. When they chose to disobey Him, they learned about evil through personal experience. This choice brought distrust, separation from God, and suffering into the world. Let's break it down. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil was a test of trust and loyalty. Satan's big lie was that God was holding something good from them and that knowing evil would actually make them wiser. The real sin was not just eating a piece of fruit. It was distrusting God's word and rejecting His authority. After they sinned, their education changed. Nature wasn't just a book of God's love anymore. It also became a lesson book on the sad results of sin: thorns, dying leaves, animals fearing them. How do we apply this? The Master Guide takeaway. We need to teach our young people that God's rules are for our protection, not our punishment. They are like guardrails on a dangerous mountain road. Help your Pathfinders understand the power of choice. Every day, they make choices that either bring them closer to God or move them further away. When you see the negative consequences of bad choices in the world, use them as teaching moments to gently point back to the safety of following God's plan. Chapter 4. Relation of Education to Redemption. What's the big idea? Since sin messed everything up, the main job of education now is the same as the main job of redemption: to bring us back to God. Education is a tool for salvation. Let's break it down. Sin didn't just separate us from God, it also damaged our ability and even our desire to know Him. Jesus came as the ultimate teacher to fix this. He shows us what God is really like. Because of this, Ellen White says education and redemption are one. You can't separate them. This means a true teacher, or master guide, is not just focused on sharing information. They are focused on helping their students connect with Christ and develop a character of truth, obedience, honor, integrity, and purity. How do we apply this? The Master Guide takeaway. See yourself as more than an activity leader. You are a partner with Christ in His work of redemption. Your patience with a difficult pathfinder, your encouragement to a shy adventurer, that is redemptive work. The ultimate goal of every honor, every drill, and every meeting should be to reveal something about the character of Jesus. Make Him the center of all you do.